Everybody knows what a PFX file is? No. A PFX, you know what particle effects are? It is the stored particle effects data. So if I create, I can actually, let's just add a null real quick. And add some particles. Emitter. And you can see there's some particles being emitted. You see they're not doing much anything because there's no gravity or anything like that. There's no effects going on. Here's gravity. So now they emit and they fall. You can see that. To save that, you'd actually go in here and under File and then save the motion, and it would save out a PFX file. So that's one way of creating particle effects files. Another way is using this plugin. Let's open the page for it. Object PFX. And it actually runs back to 8 apparently. It's a displacement plugin. See, some of these you may need a clue. What type of plugin is it? You know, do I find it under utilities in here? Is it a master plugin? Where is it? This one tells you it's a display. Oh, that's the wrong page. It tells you it's a displacement plugin. So you'll find it under displacements, and it is called OBJ PFX. And you notice I have this ball here, and this ball starts out small, goes up. It's got a bit of a twist to it, and then it falls down and stops. So let's open this plugin, and it's got an option to scale by weight map, and then this option here, it defaults to no, and that's good. So let's tell it where to save the file to. It's going to take these points, this object's points, and their global motion path, and create a PFX file. So let's save it there, and then we tell it, yes, save the file, and then hit OK. And so now it should have created a PFX file. Let's take this null, select the null. Let's go down here, select the null. Okay, let's clear this motion and load up that file I just created. And you can see now it's got little trails. That's the particle effects that were just recorded by that plugin being played back. So
that's useful.
So now let's set the speed to 90%. So now it's going to play it back at 90% of the original speed. So now you can see they're really trailing back there. So they're kind of slowed down a bit. So that's really neat if you wanted to supplement an already existing particle effects simulation with, you know, the clients told you we have to have something move in this way. Instead of using wind or something to make it follow a path, you can just use a piece of geometry. Oh. So now that's that one. We can also, so that we've created some PFX files. Let's go back in the modeler. Was there any questions about the OBJ to PFX? About this?
That's cool.
It's on the Deform tab.
Can you further edit them?
Yes, you should be able to. Let's go to the no, and you should be able to use edit effects.
Okay.
And then pull these out.
Oh, sick, yeah.
So now that point's way over there. Pull that one down. So now those points are following a different path. So now let's go, let's come in here. This one, both of these are by the same guy, Stephen Cleland, excuse me. And this one is PFX2. This one takes a PFX file. Let's take this one. And from it can create points. 1-point polys, curves, chains, polygons, a plate, and a tube.
Wow.
So if we have it create a set of points. There we can see that's our PFX file. Let's set this to wireframe. There we can see our PFX file. These are both L scripts. One of them I think is open source. Let's check. Object PFX. This one's open source. So the one that takes the object data and makes a PFX out of it, you can look at it and see what it's doing. The other one, however, is a compiled L script. So yeah, this one's still free. It's still an L script, but it's compiled. So if it's broken, you have to complain. So there's the points. That's points. That's we have to keep setting the file name. Let's try 1-point polys. Well, actually 1-point polys look the same. 1-point polys, but these will render. The previous one wouldn't render. So let's try a curve. There's curves. You could use these to make hair guides. Right there, there's your endpoint, so that's where it would put the 1-point poly for a hair guide. And you can actually, on the database, let's see, that's, if you go hair, or not node, hair. Spline to guide. There's one. Curve to poly chain. Both of these will create hair guides for you from curves. And then you can use Sasquatch or fiber effects to render that. So you can use particle effects and a few steps to make hair guides. Let's try change this time. There's poly chains. So these are actual individual 2-point polygons. Again, following the path of those particles.
So you can select the endpoints, and then use the 8-point polys and the grade tab.
Yep.
Sweet.
Polygons. Let's see how that looks. It actually, let's go into flat. It actually did create polygons. So one edge is perfectly straight. The other edge follows the path of the curve. Those are really non-planar.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can just imagine. Let's triple those. Yeah, that's tripled. So yeah, it's we did polys. Let's do plates. And hit OK. Plates. Let's put flat shaded. You can see it made little strips.
Oh, okay.
So, what's that parameters?
I'm not exactly sure what you'd use this one for because they're actually not aligned very well at the top. They actually flatten out, but you could UV map that. I should.
Is there something if
You could.
double-sided?
Yeah, you could. Oh yeah, you could set these to double-sided.
Hey, if you did like a spray that came out like this, you could have a really quick palm tree.
Yes, you could.
I mean, like maybe not this spray. This one looks more like a streamer or something like that. You could use it for like really quick confetti. You could use it for a palm tree. It might be like optacoustics in that dog walk PD Pro.
I'm gonna try something real quick and see if I can UV unwrap this.
Well, there's
Mesh
even
air.
Slayer.
Yeah, this one's not too complicated. It can be unwrapped with other plugins. But let's try Tube.
Oh, but it already has UVs on it, doesn't it?
You can actually, yeah, that's right. You can have it create its own UVs.
So that solves that problem.
That's yeah. So there's your UVs
Cool.
for these strips.
So you could like map seaweed to that and then like dump it in the ocean.
Yep.
That'd be cool, turbulence or something like that, if you did have a test for that.
So you could use this like optacoustics in PD Pro.
Here's a tube, and you can see it's a bit different from the strip. It does have some dimension to it. It's a 3-sided tube. And it does kind of flatten out at the top. Right in there you can see it's kind of flattening out. But still, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and you can still use sub patches and then
Yeah.
normal move
Yep.
to thicken them up.
Let's see. Let's try the tube with a UV map. See how that works. See if it'll UV.
Radius do.
It sets how big the tube is. I set it to 0.1 before. I set it to 0.25. 0.25. 25. And it creates bigger tubes.
But they're still three-sided.
Yeah, they're still three-sided. And but you notice it unwrapped it.
Something else in there. It's
Okay.
some 2-point polys.
Oh yeah, there's 2-point polys on the end caps.
This has possibilities for anime hair.
Yeah. In addition to all the other hair blade plugins.
But you can also use it potentially if you could round it up enough to make it look like cables.
Mm-hmm.
So you have massive cables.
I was thinking about, Miko Hasane pigtails.